Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
You have got to get up pretty early to go do something. We are the Alternative Dig Talk. With our mobile studios, we are redefining TV presentation just as technology is setting the pace. We are blending our approach with fresh, perspectively designed breakfast show, The Mighty Drive, informative and entertainment show, exclusive and live interviews.
We President Museveni wadde juzi namulaba apima akawunga kilo 2 tasobola kalya nini bwaba alya kilo 5 oyannema okuliisa eggwanga ne bwe limundekera.
Njagala kwebaza the Alternative Dig Talk etuwadde kano ka Mighty Drive era n'abatuwuliriza bonna abali ku mikutu njagala basaba mugendo maaso n'okuwuliriza.
All given to you just a click away on your phone, tablet, laptop and smart TVs as we are streaming live on our social media platforms, on the road and on the go. We are the Alternative Dig Talk.
Are you guys ready? Okay, let's serve Uganda. As promised, we deliver. We are redefining the social media narrative, asking tough questions and holding your leaders accountable. We are non-partisan and break down having a conversation with Uganda.
We are the Mighty Drive. We hold debates that give you viable solutions. We bring to people that Ivora is wanted to listen to. We are gender sensitive and give space to the unheard voices. Not forgetting the quote of the day.
We are live on our social media platforms, The Alternative Uganda on Facebook, YouTube and Twitter from Monday to Friday, 7 to 9 a.m. Don't miss the debate behind the wheels and studios.
I am Edgar Mathew Karuhanga.
Farida Bikobere.
And Princess Luwe Delidian.
Expect in-depth analysis, credible, factual and authentic information. We are the Alternative Dig Talk.
Real issues, real talk.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
It is the 16th day of November 2021 oba ennaku z'omwezi 16 omwezi gwa musenene omwaka 2020. Good morning, welcome to the Mighty Drive Show. My name is Karuhanga, Edgar Mathew, and on behalf of the Alternative Dig Talk, on behalf of the Alternative Uganda, on behalf of Rogers Turiahawe, and on behalf of Mokose Arnold Anthony and everybody who works at the Alternative Dig Talk, we want to say thank you and good morning. And thank you so much for watching The Drive. Thank you so much. It's always a privilege. Okumanya nti buli lunaku okera ku channel twegattako nobanga olaba program The Mighty Drive. Buli lunaku okuva ku ssaawa mpaka ku ssaawa 3 ez'okumakya kibeera kya ssanyu nnyo okumanya that you sacrifice your data and actually sit back and watch the right information. And that is, as we promised, we are delivering. We are redefining the social media narrative. And of course, we are asking the tough questions. And today, we have Mr. Gumusiriza Sylivin. He is a political activist. We shall be asking him some tough questions. But of course, they're not going to be so tough, because at the end of the day, we want to give people a friendly environment. But of course, we want to educate the nation on how better we can make this continent and of course the whole world become a better place for each and everyone that is in it. Ladies and gentlemen, and of course we are proudly powered by Praise Property Consultants. Now, Praise Property Consultants deals in everything that is called land. Do you want to sell land? Do you want to acquire land? At all the outskirts of Kampala, all roads that are leading to the various regions of this country, we have land there. That means Masaka Road. We have on, Bombo Road. We have a lot of chunk land in the different outskirts of Kampala. So feel free to visit us. That is at Wandegeya KCCA Market, level 2, room 128. That is Praise Property Consultants. Or you can call in on their number. That is 0706 147 006. Or you can call them on their MTN. That is 0783 82 1918. A number ya Praise Property Consultants baja kuwa bakolako in everything that is land related. Jukida olunaku olwokubiri, olunaku lwayo tuyina omwami. He is a political activist. His name is Gumusiriza Sylivin and he is from the Alliance for National Transformation. Aja kuwa banyonyola bingi. Tugenda kwa twogera ku politics nga twogera ne kunzikiriza, because most of the times politics has been dubbed a dirty game. Many people saying that this game is something, politics is something that you do not want to take part in. Many are telling their children politics is for the thieves, politics is for the liars. Politics y'abajagujagu beboka basobola okubanga bagisobola. Olunaku lwa leero tulina omwami ye atakiriza mu ndowooza bwetyo, alowooza nti we can redefine politics w'eggwanga lino, tunyumye emboozi tubulire abantu naye nga tetubabulira amazima, kubanga ye agamba mu bigambo bye nti politics ono ifa abamufuula kyali. So wobeera muntu akkiriza mu Katonda osobola okufuula politics akyoyagala abeere. Bw'oba okkiriza mu bintu ebirala era kyokufula. That's why you see we have corrupt officials, and of course we have some people who are not corrupt at the end of the day. So that is going to be the topical discussion of the day. Where is the thin line between integrity, between religion, between belief, and of course between politics? Because at the end of the day, we want politics that is moving better, politics that is going to develop people, is going to develop individuals, and it is going to develop a country like Uganda. When are we going to reach at a point nga tulina politics atambula nga olaba politics we Kenya watambula, nga olaba politics or United States watambula? Yes, why not? Why not dream? Let us dare to dream. But before we talk to Mr. Gumusiriza, munzikirize nsooke mbayiseemuko ku mawulire agabadde gatambula olunaku luno, olunaku lw'eggulo n'olunaku lwa leero wano mu ggwanga ne wabweru w'eggwanga. Twogereranga UK, United Kingdom yerimu Bungereza, yerimu Scotland, yerimu amawanga ga Scandinavian countries ga Finland, gania gonna, that is part of the United Kingdom. So UK egenda kubanga experiencing kye bayise heavy fog oba snow. Jukira mu myezi gino egimaliza omwaka wali mu Bangereza, that means UK, batera okubanga ba experiencing a snow. Naye according to some reports balagira ddala nti mu nnaku 5 snow naagenda kubeera mungi, agenda okuleeta a lot of fog. And that brings about the question that Rogers Tuliahawe always reiterates here on the Mighty Drive. Abagamba climate change is real. Enkyukakyuka y'obudde bannange yaddala bwe twogereranga mu UK mu nnaku 5 ba anticipate nze snow agenda kubeera mungi, agenda okuleeta ne fog, dense fog. That means oba omanyi olufu, fog is olufu, nti olufu olwo oba tokyasobola nakulaba oba ogenda, which often forces people in these areas mu mawanga nga UK okubanga ezennaku balina okubanga basigala mu mayumba, tebatera kukola mu time za winter. So kyekyo kigenda mu maaso by expecting a lot of dense fog and of course snow in the next 5 days. So kagwaina relative yenna wali e Bungereza mugambe konti omanyi, yes, mwetegeke kubanga winter is coming soon. Wano mu Uganda tukyesiimye. By the way, Africa and Uganda in particular is the pearl of Africa. So we have been blessed by a lot of rich fertile soils. We've been blessed by good sunshine. We've been blessed by a lot of trees and vegetation. So wetuba twogera mu nsonga ezo, Uganda ne Africa generally we are still okay. Mukama ayina ebizibu byaffe byatuwa naye ate mubya atuwadde sanyu atuwadde cool environment. That's why President Museveni yayogerako awe mabegako abantu tebalyoka bamuridiculing ng'agamba it's only in Uganda where a fool can survive. And you can be a fool but survive in Uganda. But other countries, if you're a fool, you die. And that is what your president was saying. Tugendeko mu mawulire amala Canada eyongedde okubanga eyamba Uganda etuwadde 1.9 million vaccines. Wetwogerera juka tuwadde tulina vaccines ezisinganga of course ziva mu donation. United States yatuwa, twalaba European Union yatuwadde, kati Canada yatuwadde, Bungereza yatuwa, kugamba yo Uganda tuliwo kuweebwa ekyebuuzibwa milioni 18 eza dose sente zetwali tu savings in 2020 March paka sawa zino tukyabuuza ziriwa. Ndowooza ng'ovudde ku ekyo Canada yatuwadde era twebaza nnyo. So that is still call to action, guys. Let us go and get vaccinated. Twetaaga okubeera nga tuli vaccinated, twetaaga okuba nga tufuna jabs zino. Waliwo Pfizer vaccine, waliwo Johnson. So genda awali vaccination point mu malwaliro ag'enjawulo. Kimanyi buli health center 3 waliwo we basobola okuvaccinatingira. So oba osobola bannange genda ku vaccination point ekuli okumpi basobola okuba nga bakugema. Teweerabira kutambula ne national ID yo kubanga okugema olina okulaga nti oli Munnayuganda, and of course you have to walk with your national ID. So nga tuvuddeko awo mu Canada yatuwaddeyo vaccines million 1.9, that is 1.9 million vaccines. Let's talk about the IGG, Inspector General of Government. This office has now a new energy, a new vibe around this office. Enaku zino emirimu tulabanga bagikola okuva omukyala Betty Kamya we yatwala kino ekifo ekyali ekyamulyagonja ekya IGG, Inspector General of Government. Ono yego bayita oba omunoonyereza wa gavumenti. There is a way they call him in Uganda, forgotten. Naye nga yatera kunoonyereza corruption mu sectors ez'enjawulo eza gavumenti. Bani abadde balya enguzi, bani abadde bakola webati, abadde batwala sente z'omuwi w'omusolo. So wetwogerera ng'omukyalo ono ayise abakulembera UBOS, Uganda Bureau of Statistics, abantu 18 aba leaders top notch abakulembera ekitongole kino ekya Uganda Bureau of Statistics. Abayise nno n'agamba baagala babanoonyerezaako in cases of victimization of staff. Bainenge jibade bayisa abakozi baabwe, conflicting interests ne kye bayise budget and expenditure. Nti bali mu kunoonyereza ku victimization of staff. Nti abakozi ba mu kino ekitongole bainenge jibade babayisaamu etali nnungi. Kati omukyala Betty Kamya atandise okunoonyereza ku nsonga eyo. Then conflicting interests, bano abalya mu lulime ne mu luzise, bona baali mu banoonyerezaako. Then ne budget and expenditure, sente eziweebwa kino ekitongole zikozesebwa ki, expenditure yazo eri etya, budget eri etya, because nga omanyi Uganda budget batera okuzongeramu ne bazenhansinga. So it is in that regard nti omukyalo ono IGG Betty Kamya atandise omulimu gwe. By the way, from the time she got office, I think like 2 months or 3 months ago, she has been doing some great work. Abadde anoonyereza, abadde alagidde ddala mbuno ekintu tagenda kyataakinga just head on. She's using a systematic way of doing things. So Betty Kamya is actually she's actually doing a very, very good job right now at the Uganda Bureau of Statistics, and of course in her department as the IGG. IGG is actually a position that is mandated by the constitution of this country. Tiwaino berawo oya anoonyereza oba gwe bayita kalisoliso wa gavumenti. I'm not yet sure Arnold ajja kuba correctingamu naye oyo IGG ya anoonyereza. So it is in that regard that the Uganda Bureau of Statistics leaders, 18 of them, cream de la cream, bebayise bagambe katulina banoonyerezaako tulabe sente z'omuwi w'omusolo muzikozesa mutya mu kitongole kyamwe ekya Uganda Bureau of Statistics. Jukira Uganda Bureau of Statistics kye kitongole ekinoonyereza ku bikwatagana ku bannayuganda statistics zaabwe bali bameka. Tukozesa ebintu byenkanawa kwegamba bo bakolera n'ekintu kye bayita statistics work with numbers. So it is in that regard that the IGG is actually looking through what exactly went down in that particular department. Tuvekao, we are celebrating an academician, and I'm proud to know this gentleman. Nomwami mnali mumanyi bamuyita Bakamale. Bakamale was the headmaster of Mengo SS Nebudo. Omwami ono Bakamale yavudde mu bulamu bw'ensi naye academicians n'amasomero ag'enjawulo gamogeddeko ebirungi ebitasangika. I actually met Bakamale, but I was still in my primary, that when he was still at Mengo. nti nagenda ngayo kulaba bakulu bange kuba bo basomera ku Mengo SS, and of course nasanga ngayo n'omwami Bakamale, but everybody at Mengo SS, at least I'm not sure for Budo, but at Mengo SS where he was, that was in around 2010, 2011, 2009, we were 2008. Omwami oyo yali ku Mengo SS naye yakola ebirungi, bamujjukira nnyo kulwa inter-house competitions yabatuusangako. Mengo yagendanga nnyo mu debates because of this particular gentleman. Yali akkiriza nnyo mu bitone byaba students abe Mengo SS. So omwami Bakamale bamu celebratinze nnyo, yawumudde n'ava mu bulamu bw'ensi eno, naye of course Bakamale, once an academician, always an academician. Of course we are celebrating him as the alternative dig talk, as Edgar Mathew Karuhanga, and of course as Mengo SS, and of course the entire education fraternity in this country celebrates Patrick Bakamale. Olunaku oyo gwe tucelebratinze olunaku olwaleero. Then waliyo obubbi bw'amasannyalaze obubadde bugenda mu maaso wali mu Bugisu region. Wenjogera mu Bugisu region, mukwano gwange Situma nkimanyi olaba Wambuye Shafik, Wambi Amos, mwenna muli mukulaba kyemmanyi. Mu area eya Bugisu, twogera ku Bugisu, we are talking about Nyamisindwa district, we are talking about Bududa, we are talking about Mbale, we are talking about Mukuyu, we are talking about the different parts of the eastern region that is in Bugisu. Waliyo ekibba ky'amasannyalaze ekibadde kigenda mu maaso, ekibba amasannyalaze ekibadde kigenda mu maaso mu area eno, naye we bakutte abadde bagabba ne batandika okwewozaako nga bagamba nti abantu abakola mu bumeme ekisooka be babagamba bagabbe. Boy bagambye nti babagamba you can steal that the power and the electricity. Then abane bagamba mbu ate n'ebisale ebyokusasula amasannyalaze bingi nnyo. Ojjuka ennaku zino twali tumanyi mbu unit eri ku 100, ennaku zino unit tekyali ku 100. Nze wembanjugula olaba nga olinga mu 1,200. So ebintu ennaku zino bitandise okukalubamu, tetukitegeera oba kiri wange nze kanga kaya kakange ke kafu, naye buli wemba nsasula oyinza obalamu no estimating nga amazima bakuwadde buli unit bagikubalidde nga nusu 1,100 wala 1,200. So ennaku zino amasannyalaze ga waggulu nnyo, ne twebuuza nefa abakola amasannyalaze wano tuyina ddamu yaffe, we export that power to Rwanda, but why is it that our power is still expensive, yet we are exporting to other countries, and yet other countries have this power at cheaper prices? So you wonder, is it only a Ugandan problem oba? And ndozanga tumaliriza amawulire g'olunaku olwaleero, katwogere ku lunaku lwokutaano zigenda kubeera ennaku z'omwezi 19. The president of Uganda, Mukulu Yoweri Kaguta Tibuhaburwa Museveni, will be addressing the nation. Agenda kuba addressing eggwanga lino ng'ayogera ku bintu agambye. He's going to be talking about COVID-19 and other related issues. Kati tetukakasa oba bagenda kuba nga babaggulawo, oba bagenda kuba nga babagamba diro bagenda okubaggulawo, oba bagenda kwogera ku vaccination. Naye ng'ennaku z'omwezi 19 olunaku olwokutaano luno olujja ku ssaawa 2 ez'ekiro. Bannange president, ssaawa 2 zibeere ssaawa 2. President has a culture of not keeping time, and of course if you don't keep time, that means you're putting it in the system that if the president is not keeping time, how will I keep time? How will a young person grow up to be a person who keeps time? Because they see the president is not keeping time and everything is okay. President can tell you at 8 and he will come at 8:30, and of course we shall sit there and wait for him because he is the president of the Republic of Uganda. Ladies and gentlemen, those are mawulire geego, amawulire mangi naye tetulina ngeri gye tugenda gamalayo because ndaba wano Mengo yavuddeyo naye ne defendinga Buganda Land Board yona bagambye President Museveni Buganda Land Board yagambye eri illegal yetagikiririzaamu era n'agamba NRM Secretariat oba Central Executive Committee egirwanise. So ne Mengo yavuddeyo n'efulumya ekiwandiiko ye eri mu kudefendinga Buganda Land Board. Then National Council for Higher Education nabo baleese bablockings kye bayise Great Lakes Regional University graduation. Mawulire mangi nnyo bannanga gabadde gagenda maaso naye gonna mbasisobola kubanga ngamalirizayo kubanga obudde buba butuggwako. Amawulire go mangi naye nja kuba mbongera amalala olunaku olw'enkya nga nabasuubiza. Tulina omwami Gumusiriza agenda kuba twegattako right here, and we're going to be talking about politics and virtues, morality and integrity, and of course let's find a solution and let's bring a thin line a consensus to see where can we, what can we do to actually make our politics better and where can we actually solve this particular challenge. Ndoza edakika ziri abiri ezakaita kusawe mweyo kumacha ngenda kumulamu katono wenkomawo omwami Gumisiriza agenda kuba negataku wantandika okunyumyamu emboozi eno bagiyita the mighty drive. Nze bampita Edgar Mathew Karuhanga. Good morning.
Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Hey Ugandans, I'm Lieutenant Colonel Dewa Kiki, the Deputy Defense Spokesperson and actually the Deputy Spokesperson for the Uganda People's Defense Forces. I was hosted on Alternative Dig Talk. I encourage all Ugandans that this is the way to go. Always watch, participate, give your views and ask questions on Alternative Dig Talk. Dig Talk, the way to go.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Past 8 a.m. Good morning, and of course welcome back from that short commercial break. I've been joined by two wonderful people. One is a gentleman, the other is a lady. I'll start with the lady. The lady is called Farida Bikobere. She's putting on red, black, and she's looking smart and beautiful. She is a lady known for the quote of the day. She's as well known for very many things. She is the head of finance and head of administration right here at the Alternative Dig Talk. She is a show host. She knows how to do snap talk. She can advise. Why I do a lot of things. What don't you do in this world? You play football? I was surprised to know that Farida actually plays football. Farida, good morning. Welcome to the drive. Good morning, Eddie. I've been missing you. It's been a while. I last saw you on. I was last here with you on Thursday, right?
Yes.
And from that time, I've not been here with you. So I'm always happy to have you around. And of course, it brings back the SDG 5, gender equality. Is this equality or equity?
It's equity, but it's okay to get it out. To get it out, I think I'm only basajja babiri. It's not equality. We would have been two women, but that's okay.
Women are numbers.
Yes, women are numbers. Well, okay. Abatulaba olunaku lwa leero mbalamusizaako mwasuze mutya muli mutya. It is the mighty drive olunaku lwa kubiri. Edgar agambye mbu 22 minutes past 8, it is 7. Esa mujja kulowooza ezaffe twatambudde tuli mu nsi ndala nga mulowooza tuli mu za UK, mulowooza tuli mu maaso. No, it was a slip of the tongue. It is 7 a.m. abatanatwegatako mangueko. The page is the Alternative Uganda on Facebook. Like the page, follow us at Mkwano. Don't forget to press the notification button. Mabelenga ate bakuweereza notification every when we go live. Osobola okuba nti ate buli guest gwe tubeera naye ofunamu ekyokuyiga. Quote of the day. He has said, I am the woman of the quote of the day.
Everyone knows you for the quote of the day.
I want to inspire people. I want to motivate people. You see, there are those days when you wake up, when your energy is particularly low, and you cannot do anything about it. It is low. Nebogezako kuchiyaringa up wegana nesigala yo wansa. So I always want to inspire people like you can do it. You are not the one to wake up with a bad attitude. Everyone wakes up with a bad attitude, but we work on them. We work on them because we are going to meet different people that we do not know how their next way. So if you carry your attitude to everywhere, so with that being said, I will say our quote of the day will go around attitude. Let's talk about attitude. Have you ever sat and thought that maybe it is because of your attitude that you have not gotten that job that you were looking for? Or the reason why you are single is because of your attitude? The reason why you are a single mom could be because of your attitude. Or a single dad. Attitude matters a lot. It is said that a bad attitude is like a flat tire. Unless you remove it, you do not go anywhere in life. Let's work on our attitude towards our jobs, towards our family, towards our friends, towards work, everywhere. Please let us have an attitude that is welcoming. Because when you have a bad attitude, you are going to chase away people. Abantu tebagenda kweyunira nnyo. Gwe buli omu omukuba ebizibu byo. Everyone has problems. But you wake up, it is like when you wake up, ebizibu byo bigalire mu nyumba, move out like you do not have any problem. Sanga n'ayagala okwe-employing nga tayagala muntu wa bizibu, ojja kumubba. Ebizibu biyitiridde. Ayagala kuwa mitwalo 3, oyina ebizibu bya million. He will get scared, ojja kumubba. Olw'okuba oyagala okumaliriza ebizibu byo. So ebizibu byaffe tubisibire mu nyumba, tugende wabweru eyo nga tuli basanyufu. Nga omuntu ayinza n'obutalowooza nti you have problems. Yet you have. Let us always work on our attitudes. Or was I have a bachelor's, thousands have bachelors, it no longer matters. But because you have a bachelor's and you are the first person to get a bachelor's in your family, you think it is something mighty. It is not. Abantu bafunye bachelor's degrees, ate nga bali mukola emirimu gy'aba certificates. Because ojja kunoonya omulimu gwa bachelor's gukubule. Meaning ogenda kutuula ewaka unemployed. Bw'obeera ewaka unemployed ng'olina ebyetaago, bw'oba mwana muwala ojja kukozesa omubiri gwo. Because olina bye weetaaga. Bw'oba mwana mulenzi ojja kufera oba ojja kubba. Because olina bye weetaaga. Let us always work on our attitudes. Ogenze mu company bakuwadde omulimu ogutali mu qualifications zo. Olina bachelor's agambye, okay, ojja tuvugirangako company ka nga bwe tunoonya omulimu. Take it on. All you want is money. Sente z'ofunye ng'oli driver, ne sente z'ofunye ng'oli manager. Omutwalo guba mutwalo. Tegubeera kate guneeno nzifunye because I work in the office. Yeah. Ate zino nzifunye olw'okuba nkola eno. It is always money. Edgar Mathew Karuhanga. Yeah.
Thank you, Farida Bikobere. That is my co-host, and of course, let me welcome the guest of the day. I told you he's called Gumusiriza Sylivin. I hope I pronounced that right. Gumusiriza Sylivin is from the Alliance for National Transformation. He is a political activist, and of course, he's a man who knows Christ. So we are going to be
talking about God.
Around. We want to find a consensus for politics and religion or unbelief, let me say, or an etiquette and integrity, because our politics has been dubbed in a bad way. People are saying politics is a dirty game. But when do we come back to a drawing board? Because politics was never like that. Why am I still speaking? Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Good morning, viewers and listeners at the same time. And I'm glad to be hosted here.
Wow, we are glad to host you as well. For someone who does not know you, please introduce yourself to him. What do you do? Where are you coming from? And how are you feeling today morning?
Wow, introductions. My name is Sylivin Gumusiriza.
Yes,
I hail from Rukunjiri, and like you've mentioned, I'm a member of ANT, and I believe in rights. And I believe in rights of everyone, which rights of everyone are issued by the Creator. And that's why I'm in Christ. So I'm a Christian and I'm in politics. No doubt about that, and I'm not ashamed.
There is nothing to be ashamed of.
No, but it's something very difficult to find. Yes. Someone who believes in God, okay.
No.
But, okay, I'm not saying our politicians don't believe in God. But there's that, I don't know if you understand.
Edgar.
Say it wrong.
No, you say
it. I may speak it out and I'm stereotyping some people, right? Which I don't want to.
Yeah, so that's basically it. I have no problem that I'm a Christian and I'm in politics. My profession is IT project management. And I still have to do it with the Christian perspective. In other words, even when you go to politics, and I know you're going to talk a little bit more about that, is that everything you're doing has got to have standard values on which you operate.
Yes.
Now, when those values are out, then you're out of the game. So be it business, be it politics, be it health, be it every other aspect of life that you're into, you've got to have principles and values. Now, in the case of me who's Christian, the values I espouse are the values that Christ emphasizes. And that's basically it. Really not much about in terms of introduction. That's what I really do. On daily basis, professionally, IT.
Okay.
My drive is in politics, and I am so much concerned as to why, especially when you say politics is a dirty game.
Yeah.
I'm so much concerned that we have very many Christians
Who are in politics. Yes. So why is
Our
politics
president is a
called a
Christian.
dirty game?
Our president is a Christian, by the way.
Yeah, but you see, politics doesn't make itself.
The people
Politics
make
is
it.
made by the people. So it's the choice they make.
The
So
people that are dirty.
yes, so the direction
So
they
it is
take.
the people that are dirty,
Yes,
not the politics.
not politics. Not politics. If you came with that cloth dirty, whose choice would it have been? And Edgar would be saying that you look dirty,
Yes.
but just because you didn't wash. So politics is dirty because that's the game we have decided to play. We can play clean politics.
Okay. I just want to know how you came to politics, because I'm thinking it must have been a very rough ride for you if you have those values and you're entering a game where people are really scrupulous and you cannot really trust them. I'm telling you.
People go armored, and for you are like,
For you, you're
yeah,
calm,
we sail through.
How has your journey been?
You see, there's nothing good that's going to come at no cost. And the reason actually politics is seen to be that is because the right people are shying away, are moving away from it.
Yeah.
If the right people were into politics, then would be enjoying this nation, would be enjoying what is happening, the governance and all aspects of politics. So, and you know, you've got to think about where is your heartbeat. And when you look at something not going right, the idea is not about keeping pointing fingers. The idea is to get there and find out, can't I do something? Now, in the case of Christians, the Bible puts it that you're the salt and the light of the world. Where light exists, there's no darkness. So if you're seeing darkness, and which is not good, why wouldn't you go to put light? And that was my drive into politics. Can I? I think I can, because I have Christ within me who drives me to do that in principle. Is there going to be a fight? Certainly, yes. Will I win? God knows.
I don't know. You have something to ask? Because I have a lot
You have a lot of questions, no problem.
So you actually went with that attitude to Rujumbura, the previous elections?
To play my part, of course, in Rujumbura. Yes, to play my part, one, as a citizen, two, as a Christ follower. Things need to be done right.
The right way.
Yes.
And
Do you think?
Why not?
No, why not?
Interestingly, you know, the challenge we have here, especially those of us who are in town, we make a picture of what is going to be in the village, and we put it out, and we think that's how they do behave. Let me tell you, there's no single rally I went to and I didn't pray. And by
People always pray.
And I did not. It is not me who actually prayed. The very people I was going to speak to are the ones that would pray. I don't remember a moment I was speaking to people and they moved away, because what I'm talking about are values.
Because that's what they should do. They should be doing,
Yes,
being there and
I
listening
don't remember
to whoever
moments
comes.
people running away because I'm not speaking, robbing. I'm not giving this money. I'm not, promising heaven and earth. No. I remember containing the people. Certainly, well, there were not very many, but at least those who came, they would stay. So I think those of us in town, let's not have a picture, an imaginary picture, and think that's how the community down is. But the community is being denied of the opportunity to see the best things or the good things. And so, because if you say politics is a dirty game, a young kid at 10, at 18, 17, he grows up thinking politics is the dirty game and doesn't see someone who is playing different politics. He will also think politics is the dirty game. But you can demonstrate that actually politics is not a dirty game, and you will be received. So you can say, then why didn't you win? The question is, how do you count your wins? Yeah. Because certainly the biggest win is in numbers. That's what we look at.
Yes.
Yeah.
But what about...
That is what matters in politics.
That is
you
what
see,
I was going to say.
Interesting that that's what you think really matters a lot. But there's this common saying, Rome was not built in one day.
Yes.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
So if you go and talk to people and the next day you have a call, someone is trying to find out, how are you doing? How best can we
help you
work on this? I wanted to get an understanding. How do I move from this angle to this other angle? I'm facing a challenge. By the way, that's a score. The problem is that most of us into politics, we don't want to celebrate small scores. We want big scores. We go into campaigns to win big. No wonder that's why we do the extremes. To the extent if you had property, you go and sell. If you have access to money, you go and borrow. Then
people make loans close to $1 billion.
And then you go and give money without rationale. Yes, because all you're interested in is to capture their intention. Their attention at that point. Pull them emotionally, take them to this side. And of course, you're dealing with people who are disadvantaged. They're hungry, they're thirsty, they are in poor environments. So if somebody is lacking 10,000 and you give him 15,000 to confuse his conscience, you have basically manipulated him. And then he gives you the vote. But then, me as a Christian, manipulation is a sin.
Yeah.
Right? So I would rather come and explain to you, by the way, for you to get 10,000 to sell your conscience for the next 5 years, one, it's acting against you as an individual. If you have a family, it's acting against your family. And you remember you're deciding for the other children who do not have rights to vote.
Yes.
At that moment, you've actually sold the entire family for the next 5 years.
Yes.
Now, it's hard to take at that very point. Because literally the problem we have is so instant that you actually want the 20,000. But even when you do that, a few days later, you'll be asking yourself, did I hear properly? Because that 20,000 is going to get finished.
But Gumusiriza, you're fighting something that, okay, you're introducing something very new, right, to the people. You're introducing a new kind of politics, which is the same thing as your political party, yes. Alliance for National Transformation. You're bringing something new to Uganda that is going to take, I think a century to really deep down, because now you're changing a mindset that has gone for generations, right? Because there is a way we have been tuned to a certain kind of politics, and you're introducing another kind of politics. Don't you think at the end of the day, you are blowing a trumpet for maybe a cow?
Edgar, are you suggesting that we should...
Excuse me, Sylivin, do you know some Luganda?
Yes, I'm Uganda.
Could you please mix for me for the audience? They've started complaining English is too much.
But Sylvin, oleeta ekintu ekipya bannayuganda kye batamanyi olowooza onaamalako n'olutalo olwo?
Anti
oyinza omaliriza ng'okoze buli kimu naye ng'ate tofunye
bw'oba otandika olutalo omanya nti gugenda okulwana naye
akusinga amaanyi oba
si kuba nti akusinga amaanyi alina ensonga lwaki alwana naawe olina ensonga lwaki olwana ekyo tekitegeeza nti olutalo lwakuba wasazeewo bagenda kukuba no otandika ate mpola mpola n'ogenda ngo olaga embeera zo n'engeri gy'osobola. Let's look at how the current government started. Muzeeyi Kaguta bwe yatuuka okugenda mu nsiko n'emmundu 27 eyamuwulira
which tetuli sure mbuzaala 27
zezo ze bagamba era
that's what they say, at
as
least.
it is said.
That's what it said. Bwe yatuuka okugenda mu nsiko n'emmundu 27 eyamutunuulira ng'alina emmundu 27 on the government that had hundreds of thousands of guns. Olowooza yali alina kyamulowoozamuko yamulabamuko ku magezi.
Maybe they took him as a joker.
They used to call him a cockroach. They used to call him that we are going to crush them there from Luwera. And
now who is he?
Is what Obote was saying. He's
who
not
is
the
he?
President.
He's the president.
And he has been president for 35 years.
Exactly.
And counting.
After being downplayed, right? So what matters is, do you believe in this? Ekintu ky'ogenda okukola okyewuliramu ate byoyogera. It is not sikuba nti obyogera lwakuba you want to appear so good there. Because you feel this is the direction the country is supposed to be taking.
Definitely.
Yes. So our responsibility here is to keep doing and saying the right thing. It is up to the people to see which is the right direction to go. It doesn't matter how long it takes. The Bible tells us to be patient.
How long we know mattering.
You know why? And I know, yes, we know mattering. Of course, we've got strategies. You've got to have strategies. Even, and that was not the only one, by the way. Let's look at William Wilberforce when he was beginning to fight slave trade. How many years did he take? And by the way, William Wilberforce was Christian. How many years did he take? Did he really know that he would actually win? But he needed to stage the fight. So it now depends on how, first of all, you define your fight, your wins, and how you celebrate your scores, and how you lay your strategies. The problem is that the situation in which we are requires us to run for the thing that really come very fast. Twagala kagwirawo, you know? Ogenze kunonya kalulu, onomalako oyina sente. But do people really need money only?
But you as a contestant, you need money.
Of course, yes, you need money. But is it all that you need?
It is one of the major things that you need.
Yeah, but is it the only determinant?
Definitely
no.
Certainly. So oyina kubaako wotandikira. We understand sente zeetagisa. Naye ogenda zikozesa otya? Or even when you're in there, bobeera mu bantu, how do you use the money? Who doesn't see, by the way, even when they're receiving the money, ni baba bazikwata, baba bakimanyi nti obagula. You're actually lying to them. At the end of the day, Edgar ngenda nawe mu constituency. Nemba nga mpeereza 15. Nojja ng'oweereza 1,000. Nga waliwo omulala ayina aweereza 2,000. Bagenda kusalawo kiti ani yatuwadde ki sente nyingi. So let's not focus on just money. And if it requires mindset, one piece at a time.
But let's say you have not used the money to buy the voters, but you need that money to fuel your car. Ekutambuze mu constituency. You need that money to at least give these people you move with a bottle of water, actually give them a lunch. And in the actual sense, we cannot erase money away out
of
the equation.
That's justifiable. Of course, I needed money to move with my people. I needed money to fuel the car. I needed to eat. I needed to support these people, you know, in terms of transport, coming and going back. that is very fine. That's very okay. But if you're talking about money to give people, to convince with money, that doesn't become politics. That becomes a transaction.
Yeah, it is a transaction, and okay, meaning we've had a transaction in the
we've
previous 10 or
basically
20
had
years.
a transaction. No wonder, even after the elections, you hear people say, oyo twamuwa akalulu naye yagenda yatubulako nga tumaze okumuwa akalulu ne batajjukira nti
batransactinga business babagula bane babajjamu
babagula yakuwa 15,000 ne weetunda gwe ne famire yo
nakasakati k'omunnyo kammeka n'ekitole kya sabbuuni
ne family yo ne mwetunda myaka 5 kati mulindeko.
But Gumi says you have other people that actually believe in this, in your cause, because if you're going to fight this alone, which I've not met many that believe that in fact you're the only one that I've so far met that has that kind of ideology. Have you met others that are like you? And maybe are you guys doing something to actually introduce a new kind of politics?
Je bali banji omanyi we normally come out differently. Some people are behind there saying, but we are not doing the right thing. But they have not, first probably they don't have the courage, or they also haven't had an opportunity like the opportunity you've given me to speak on this space.
Yes.
Waliwo abagamba nja kuwagira choliko kituufu kati bw'oba ogenda nakuwaayo emitwalo 10 for fuel gye bali. So and the way they contribute is also different. Waliwo agenda okuwa, someone is going to listen to you and shares with you an advice. Someone is going to listen to you and realizes you need transport, you need this, and sends you some money when you're there. Another person is going to listen to you. Gambumanyi, I have a group of people. Waliwo abantu bendina jangu oyogereko nabo. So abantu gye bali waliwo n'abo abali nganzi abali out there ate nga babyogerako on a daily basis. And I can guarantee you abantu bawuliriza. Ayinza okusalamu obutakikola naye nga yakiwulidde. Ayinza okusalamu obutakyuka naye nga akutegeera amanyi kyoliko. Enjiri yagikwata. So those of us abali in that line of politics, nze ngamba abampuliriza tebagwamu maanyi. Keep doing what you are supposed to do.
Do the right thing.
Do the right thing. Do the right thing. Ekiseera kijja kutuuka otuuke ku muntu omugambe omanyi ndi wano nze gundi njagala kalulu kati mbadde ngamba tunagambe munange ebyo tubikooye. Let me tell you, when somebody is extremely frustrated, even if you give him how much, he will ignore you. If you're, by the way, that is if you're very lucky, if he doesn't beat you up. So those are, as far as I'm concerned, and to those other people that I know they are in that line, we cannot give up because it is the right thing to do. There is no right way of doing a wrong thing. It just has to be the right thing.
But it's going to be a long process.
Yes, it had to be.
I'm sorry to say this, but I'm thinking the people who are going to eat the fruits of your labor will maybe be your children, because changing that mindset takes a long, long time.
Yes, but I'm also on the mercy of the one who raised me up, on the mercy of the one who raised her up, on the mercy of the one who raised her up. So that should not necessarily make me get very, very scared. I am the one in this space now.
You should be doing the right thing.
I should be doing what I'm expected to do.
Oh.
The right thing. Now, how long? God knows. But am I doing the right thing?
At least you are.
That's it. You know, because at the end of the day, katugambe tuwinize.
Yes.
No. tugenze mu kalulu tukasinze
Tuvuddeyo
tuli mu
victorious
ntebe.
yes.
I am still going to have a responsibility, and somebody's going to be the president. And somebody's going to be the prime minister. Somebody's going to be the minister. I'm also going to have a different responsibility. Right?
Yes.
I'm not fighting to be the president.
Topmost.
No. But I'm fighting that life changes within the nation. And I'm giving my contribution. And I'd better do it the right way.
You're doing your part in building the nation. Ochalaba program, The Mighty Drive. Amanyaza Edgar Mathew Karuhanga. Tuchaina omwami Gumusiriza Sylivin. He is a political activist. Watu tuogera no mungeri jisolo chusa politics waffe wano mu ggwanga nga akunyonyola nti it's not, everything is not yet done. At least we can actually change this narrative that politics is a dirty game. He says not really, politics is not supposed to be a dirty game. It's the people who are actually dirty who make it a dirty game, right? Okay, Farida.
Oh no, yes, mbawo tabagambye.
Yes.
Erujumbuleri era tubadde tulimenti kumuyita honorable. Kadi ya anti. Alliance
From Alliance for National Transformation. But I feel your politics will not take power in this country.
Era bw'owulira engeri gy'ayogeramu ebigambo bye, you liken him to the they have that kind of mindset.
The kind of politics you're practicing is politics that I'm seeing democracies that have been thriving for 300 years, like the USA. This is the type of politics they actually talking to people, convincing them, and introducing something new. But I really stand to
but you see, Edgar, the thing is, how did they get there? There was a process which you are not going to ignore at any one time.
Which is not going to be easy as well.
You're not going to ignore it. But you've got to start the process. You chibeeramu ogende nacho mpola until when you get to eat.
Bannayuganda baagala byakagwirawo tumujjayo sigimanya tugenda ntebe.
Anti lwakuba ekiseera ekyo in the US tewaliwo videos nti tusobola oziraba ne tuwuliza bye baali boogera ekiseera ekyo. Oyinza okusanga nabo baali bagamba nti bino tebijja kukola ki? Tebijja kukola. So it is not because fete tufaayo, but we still have to go through that. Kubanga if you rush to fix things, you know what's going to happen?
Quick fixing.
Quick fixes. I mean, you can't give what you don't have. You have not prepared people. You've not prepared the mindset.
Okay.
You know? So you go, you grab the power, and you will, like you got it, probably you actually lose it. Yes. Because at the end of the day,
yes.
I do not think, for example, like NRM started from a bad note. You hear about the 10-point program. You know, they had a plan, but somewhere along the way,
they went astray.
Interests changed, and by the way, greed pulled over the kind of discipline. So they lost it along the way. They were not necessarily bad people. They had a good plan for the nation. Now, he is a fool if you choose to learn from your own experience. And then there are people that have actually demonstrated that when you do this, things can go wrong, things can really go right. So why do we want to fool ourselves to think that we should find the quick fix mechanisms, then we get into power, and then put things right? No, if we have used the wrong methods to get power, we shall stay wrong people. And that's not what we want, because that's not who we are. That's not how we believe that we want to take things. Okay. So, engeri gy'ogenda okufunamu ekintu ejja kulaga engeri gy'ogenda okukikozesa. So, kwata obuyinza kifuba. Ojja kubeera buna kifuba.
Ejja kweremezaamu era kifuba ddembe bakubeerayo mu ntebe baba kukooyo baba kyakwagala
ojja kubeerayo.
Mwina gwe mukuba ataawo kati.
No, I have no problem with that. The thing is, if you use if you use force to get power, you want to maintain that
by force.
It's as simple as that.
Okay, it's time to go in for a short commercial break at just 55 minutes past the top of the hour. When we come back, we start the hard questions. First of all, Alliance for National Transformation is not part of the PFT, which has been dubbed the liberator for Ugandans this time round. Again, ANT is not there. Why is it that we have failed, totally failed, to get a united opposition? That and much more you should expect in the second hour of the show. We are not talking about religious now and Christ. Now we are going in the hard talk. Why has Alliance for National Transformation refused to join the opposition forces? My name is Edgar. I'm with Farida and Mr. Gumusiriza. Good morning.
Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Nze omubya luwedde Lilian mbaniriza maka gaffe amajja era nga wano tugenda okuba nga tukolera programu yaffe emanyiddwa nga The Voltage gaba amasannyalaze gennyini era nga twogera ku bintu eby'enjawulo omwo mwe muli ebigenda mu maaso mu ggwanga, ensonga z'ebyobufuzi n'obukulembeze bw'eggwanga Uganda, twogera ku nsonga ez'abavubuka, eddembe ly'obuntu awamu n'ebyenkulaakulana. Togisubwa buli lunaku olwokutaano eba ssaawa emu ey'akawungeezi paka ssaawa 3 ez'ekiro.
The Diaspora Link buli lwakuna sawa 11 paka sawa emu ey'olweggulo ye program gye tukuleetedde wano ku Alternative Digital Uganda. Tugenda batutunulira embeera z'Abannayuganda baganda baffe bannyinaffe zibawangaaliramu mu mawanga ag'ebunaayira. Bangi banyigirizibwa, bangi bakosebwa, bangi bayisiddwamu amaaso. Naye tugenda batutunulira engeri gye tusobola okulongosaamu embeera zaabwe. Tugenda kuba tulaba abo abakwatibwako abateekeddwa okuba nga balongoosa embeera zino eno. Tosubwa buli lwakuna n'omuweerezaawo Nixon Segawa.
Hello everyone, my name is Abdulatif and I welcome you to the Hotline Show here at the Alternative Dig Talk as we discuss issues of national importance. Join us every Monday 7 to 9 p.m. and see who will be occupying these seats here with us. Keep it Dig Talk, real issues, real talk.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Tulikeyo mukuwummulamuko tuli mu second hour eya the Mighty Drive ono etutwalira ddala paka sawa 3. We still have Mr. Gumusiriza Sylivin in the studios ate nno ono mwami aveeri mu political party ya ANT. Eyo no political party ekulirwa omukulu General Mugisha Muntu gwe mutera okugamba is too soft. Tasobola politics wa Uganda yetagamu ekibuli yetagamu bali abantu abatali soft nnyo, but you could still see nti n'abantu batendeka nabo bali soft. you could just see Mr. Sylivin is also soft. Alowooza abantu bajja kukwata enjiri eno gy'ababuulira agambe kirabika Mr. Sylivin ono gwe tusaana okuwa akalulu. Bannayuganda agamba no, that is not the politics of the country. We do not need those soft people. Betaga bali ba hardcore. Abagenda ku streets ne balumba bakola ebintu bino so bagamba that's not the politics. He's good but he's too soft. You see, we've always had these statements abazogerako General Mugisha Muntu. So we have him agenda kubatubuulira why isn't the ANT part of the PFT. Atenga batugamba aba PFT nti kati lyekkubo agamba ekkubo amazima n'obulamu lyekkubo eritutuusa ku buwanguzi so nga ate twalisuubidde nti mmwe mwena abali mu opposition munoonya kukyusakyusa mbeera eri mu nsi ate bwe tuba tufunye ekkubo lwaki temweyunze ku kkubo eryo.
Thank you so much. But let me first begin with the element of being soft. You know, there's a difference between being soft and being firm.
You are soft and firm.
We sound soft, but we are really firm. There's something we believe in.
That's what I was saying. The politics we are used to, the politics of Chigwale,
But you see, the person you are saying is Chigwera, you know, with that all energy,
yes,
is this person who does not have an idea how you came up to that very level. Take an example. If you're looking for people who are, you know, raising voices and, you know, kind of pulling masses, when we lost a number of people last year in November.
Yeah,
yes.
November 18th and 19th.
Where are those families? Who's taking care of those families? Now, did that earn us anything?
Not at all.
How about the kid that is very innocent that lost a mother, lost a dad in that process? So why shouldn't I talk about those things? Should I really come back and, you know, put another voice on top, cause chaos within the streets, have many other people dying because, no, I do not think I should be engaging in politics where some people are losing lives and even the ones left do not have support. I just don't think so. So there are many ways of being politics. Now let's go to what you're talking about in terms of the new idea of this that is going to work. You know, there has been very many attempts and very many changes from a reform agenda, if you remember, for those of us at this age. Yeah. Before then, some of us, we don't know what the attempts that were made. But you very well know that even before Kaguta went to the bush, there had been very many different attempts. Yes. So there are always going to be attempts. Now, there had been very many attempts to make the change, to make the shift, to change the narrative of this nation.
Yes.
And the reason that you shift from one method to another is because the former did not work. Now, but you also need to take time to analyze why the other one did not work.
Yes.
Because if you don't take that information to be aware of it, to say now the alternative mechanism, looking at the thing that didn't work, I'm going to address them so that it can work, then you will still keep having very many changes. Ojja kubeera ng'okyusa naye nga ebintu tebikola ate nga teweebuuza lwaki tebikola. Now, ANT has not refused to join PFT. But ANT as a party has a plan. And therefore, ANT needs to take some time and study whether or not
to join.
Okay.
And when it is joining, what is it going to do? Because it's not a question of joining. Obeegattako ng'olina ky'oyongerako.
Yes.
Si kubeegattako kyokka nti bakuyise jangu n'ogenda. No.
Kugenda na mugendo.
No, ogendayo nga nawe olina ky'ogenda okuteekako. Ogendayo n'otegeera bali kuki bagenda kukola batya wa weenyingirira mu what is my contribution in that? So do not take it that ANT has refused. That is really, and you see those are the quick fixing things. PFT has just started how many months ago? So it is so fast for us to think that ANT has refused
to join.
But ANT as a party give it space because they did not wake up in the morning and just say, let's have a party. As a party, they have a program. As a party, they have a plan. Then they will decide to join, to what extent, and what to do when they're in there.
But the question, Sylivin, is that every time the opposition members always want to work in oblivion of the other. Now, what they've dubbed the PFT, something they're looking at that is going to help maybe take power. But we have that problem that we have had before, even when NUP came with people power. You know, there are many people who are skeptical about people power. Even the reform agendas, there's always been that one person that will say, no, for us we have a plan, like what you're saying. You have a plan. But don't you think it is high time for you people to have a common plan? Because for the last 35 years, all political parties have had a plan, but none of those plans has been able to work, because most of the times they have failed to unite under one umbrella. And Ugandans are saying, when is the time coming when we are going to see a united opposition? An opposition that what we saw in Malawi that took power, what we saw in Luwera as Museveni was coming into power. We saw that very different people came together and they actually realized that we had a common enemy. Why is it that you have failed to realize that you have a common goal, which is to change the leadership in this country?
Certainly we have a common enemy. That's no doubt. And we have a common problem.
Yes.
Changing the narrative of this nation's politics and governance.
Thank you.
Right? But you see, the common direction does not get to be determined in that short time, and then you give an address and say, this is what we are going to do. When you are inviting people, when you're seated with your family, and say, banange leka tutense, you know, you are the head of the family.
Yes.
Oli musajja waka. Bw'oleeta ekitenso, olindako ne mukazi wo n'abaako kyayogera.
N'ateesa.
N'omwana wo omukulu n'abaako kyayogera. N'omuto bw'aba asobola okwogera, ne mumubuuza obadde ogamba ki, n'abaako ky'ateekako. So that bwe muba mufuluma nga family, gye mulaga, mwena mumanyiyo kyokka ate mwena mukkiriza eyo gye mulaga. Right? Mwena muli ku page emu. Now here's the problem that is within this nation in terms of all those changes that you're talking about. Because common plan has ever been tried very many times. If you remember the times of Amama Mbabazi when he was coming to join the TDA.
Which actually failed as well.
Which also, it actually failed at the start. The ideal was, it looked very clearly that Amama Mbabazi's intention was to come and head the TDA. But he had not been part of it.
Yeah.
He had not built within. Yeah. So how would you come and be the head of something you have not been part of? How do you know its foundation? How do you know the details of it, the dynamics? So I think to Ugandans, this is why it requires you now, and I will keep taking you back, it requires a certain level of patience and determination to process and say, okay, we are joining PFT. What are we going to contribute? What are we up to? Where's the starting point? What's the process? Who is doing what? And what's our direction? And how are we going to be determining our wins, by the way? So si kuba nti katuvede mukino tugenze mukino tugende, you will have a lot more problems in there. So do not look at ANT that has refused. ANT has not refused, but ANT as a party
is taking its time
to see, I don't want to be into something for the sake of being counted there. I want to be into something because I know I'm going to contribute and I'm consciously in it.
Oh, it is the other way around. Because you look at what happened in that last year as we were having elections, we realized that Kyagulanyi had come. And Mugisha Muntu was behind Kyagulanyi from day one. We had Kizza Besigye was behind Kyagulanyi from day one. Norbert Mao, oh my God, he even unveiled this person at the Uganda Young Democrats. Everybody was in support of Kyagulanyi. The moment Kyagulanyi came to also aspire for presidency, which everybody had realized he's the new kid on the block, the only person who left him to be was retired Colonel Dr. Kizza Besigye. FDC did not leave him to be. ANT that had said they are going to join him, they actually also went in the same race with him. And we saw what happened, what happens every day. The elections were divided, the votes were divided, and he got 3. You people also got your numbers. Museveni also won this time around again. That's the same. It has been the cycle, 2006, 2011. When are we stopping that cycle?
So you see here, Edgar,
when can we reach a point where at least we can know that we shall have at least a rerun, and President has not got more than 51%.
There's one thing you need to know here, that, like I was using the idea of the family.
Yes.
You're going to have a child in the house who is so vocal and active. You're going to have another one who is calm, but again also focused. You're going to have another one who tends to balance these two, but they're all your children. You love them, not so?
Yes.
They belong to you. So I think here's what we expect from the nation. Those of you who feel, what NUP is doing is the right thing to do, move that direction, right?
Yes.
Those of you who think what the FDC is doing is the good thing, move that direction. Those of you who think ANT is doing is the right thing, come to us. By the way, at that point, you're all drawing, most likely you're probably drawing from ANRM and drawing those ones that have not been anywhere else. Those of you who think it is DP or any other party, then move. Time for elections come. Let's go to the voting, the polling station.
Yes.
Let's vote. Each one of us votes what he believes in. I can guarantee you NRM will not get the number of votes that they want.
I can guarantee you NRM is going to stay
No.
in power.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. It's because you're basically going to split these votes. Here's where the problem is. We are opportunists. We choose to go into parties or into groups because of what is in there for me. We forget that the so-called calm you think of, ANT, simple stuff, they represent a certain section of people in this nation, and those people do exist. The ones raising voices, and that's the way of doing things, they also represent a certain section of people. And all these people belong to this nation. The problem is, when we are going there, we go with a second thought. A second thought. Mfunira muwa. Chovola ba omuntu agenda nabera mu FDC, the next day you hear yakyuse against the NRM. But tugezaako us in ANT. Sente bazireta. Yes, but we chose not to. You think we didn't want the money? When we don't need the money? No, we need the money. But we have a plan. So it's a question of ogenze mu politics, ogenze mu karuru, ogenze in mukuvuganya, so that you can contribute to this. What is the internal motive for you to be there? If we don't do that, even the FTP you're talking about, if you look at the section of the people in there carefully, you might find someone is there saying, probably I'll be the second to the head of the FTP. That is his intent. And when that one is your intent, you'll do everything possible to get that.
To get a position.
You see? And for me, that's not major. For me, that's not major. It is very possible that when ANT takes power, even if I don't get any post, I will get down and do my business comfortably in an environment where I know that my tax is going to be, I'm not going to be overtaxed, and when my tax is received, it's going to be doing what it's supposed to be doing. To begin with, that's what I'm looking out for. My country is going to be stable. I'm going to have medicine in the hospital. I'm going to have education going smooth. So I'm comfortable that my child is going into the right school and is getting the right education. Those are basics. The other things are secondary.
But Mr. Sylvin, do you agree that a disunited opposition is easier to win than a united one?
But of course you're right. A disunited opposition is easier to win. But the thing is, we tend to think that opposition should be thinking in the same way. We forget one thing. There are two words which are very, very strong and very important in life. A yes and a no. When somebody says no, By the way, even if you have a gun, you have to be very careful to think of how to trigger, of whether you should trigger to kill that person. Because if you don't find out why he said no, chances are you're going to miss out. So some of you tend to think that to be in opposition is only to say no and to express the no only, without letting people understand why you actually choose to say no. So why we are still explaining to people, this is what ANT believes in. This is how it goes. We do not believe in what is happening currently, and these are the reasons 1, 2, 3. Do not take us for granted. Do not think that that makes us really soft and so weak. No. we choose to say no because we believe that is not the right way to go. Okay. Some others want to demonstrate their no in a different way. It is their right if they can survive with it. But I was cautioning you. Remember what happened last year in November? How people they were demonstrating the no. How people died. And think of that child whose mother passed on, whose dad passed on, that relative that was depending on that person that was killed. Think about that.
You're saying it's a very, very valid point. That is the first thing. But the thing is, should Ugandans always just run and bury their heads in the sand because they're under a leadership that if you are a vibrant opposition or if you try to demonstrate your right for demonstration,
you'll be the target.
You'll be taken out. Should we just say that is what we should settle for as Ugandans?
No, that's not what you should settle for. That's what I was saying.
Because it has shown that haven't Ugandans reached a point where dialogue has actually failed. It feels like it has failed.
You see, where here's the challenge here, Edgar. Like I was saying, we are all demonstrating a no.
Yes.
But for me to think that going on the road to demonstrate is a wrong way to go about it, I'm not fair to you. Because that's how you know how to express it. That's how you're built up. For you to think that my saying no and I choose to take this direction to operate this way, I'm not doing it right, I don't think you're also fair to me. That's why I kept bringing it back to you. Where is your conscience when you're demonstrating your no? Demonstration is a human right to express your dissatisfaction about what is really happening. It is your right. But I don't think it is the only method to say no. So I still call upon people, whoever is in opposition, to consider, where is my heart when I am doing this? What is rolling within my mind? Let me tell you that for as long as it is not coming from your guts, it is not going to work. Because at some point you're going to break because you don't have a foundation. Bichibanga tekikuvuddemu gwe ng'omuntu n'ogamba nti kino kye njagala okukola, kino kye ngenda okukola, ate bwe nti bwe ngenda okikola.
Yes.
Omuntu agenda kujja kugambe kati naye ofaaki. Ofaaki. Kwata zino naawe genda obeeko. Kiveemu.
Politics yafuuse wakufuna.
Yes. Ojja kugenda. Ojja kugenda.
Bakujjamu ne milioni 10 nga naawe okwatira.
Ngokwata. Ate omanyi kye bakola? Bamala ozikuwa ne bakuteeka ku kalango. Wajoyinize NRM. Do you know what you've done at that point? Bw'obeera musajja ng'olina family. Oyo mwana wa Gundi ojjukira oli yalya sente. Ojjukira oli gwe baagula millions 10. You've literally killed an entire generation behind you.
Yeah.
So as we think about mechanisms of, changing this government and, let's first of all respect the approach of different parties, right?
Yes.
And once we've respected them, we know they have a section of the people they appeal to. We have a section of the people we appeal to. Any other party has got a section of the people they appeal to. Then cross-check within themselves. Naye bano abantu kye baliko kye bategeeza oba bakiriko lwa nsonga waliwo kye bagoba eddakiika zino ziriwo.
Abantu kye baliko kye bategeeza oba balina kye bategeeza. You can join in the discussion by calling our studio line ya Airtel 0759 13 23 10. 0759 13 23 10 ate ya MTN 0789 017 145 0789 017 145 osobola tukubirako noyogerako naffe ndaba mujeeyo comments nzira bajeeyo ebiso
zitandise okutabuka there's a lot of, I was reading through the messages by the way right now naye nga ndaba message tugenda kusogera in the last 30 minutes of the show. I want to bring in another scenario. But thank you so much for being here, and everybody who's watching, thank you so much for watching the Mighty Drive. And I'm reading most of your messages, and all of you are bringing in another perspective that I don't know where it has come from.
Like seriously, I'm also wondering, like, where have we talked about this?
People are saying we are anti-NUP. So they are saying we are starting to lose the relevance because we are not believing in NUP. But I don't think that is the right thing. We just ask the tough questions. That's why some people... And when we have ANT, I will ask the tough questions. When we have NUP, we shall ask the tough questions. And of course, if you are making a mistake or going astray, we shall, of course, be, ridicule or direct you to the right position because we are the fourth estate. We are always in the people. We know what the people want and we know what the people really believe in. And we can also have maybe a block for building this nation at the end of the day. It brings me to my other discussion. Political affiliations have been looked at as a regional thing, like this way. Many people are now saying NUP is now a Baganda thing. It's more Baganda. Many people have said ANT is another sect from the West that is trying to replace the sect that is there, NRM, which is also from the West. Now, others are also, when you look at other political party DPs, and everybody has come up with trying to say that you identify with a region. What do you make of those remarks? Because at the end of the day, it's affecting our politics here. Is there anything you really feel? Do you really agree with them, first of all? And if you do, what next for our country?
It's so unfortunate, Edgar, that for a big section of Ugandans are so much interested, like I said, pointing fingers, than actually getting into the arena and feel the heat. And unfortunately, another section of Ugandans has decided to listen to those who choose to give a different image of how Uganda is operating. If somebody is not in ANT, cannot even know that ANT cuts across the entire nation. We have representatives in all parts of the nation. I don't know about NUP. I don't belong there. Now, it's also possible to come in and you find maybe if you have statistics, I don't know who's that one that has got statistics in terms of our membership. Where is the biggest number in terms of where is the region coming from? And so very, very much unfortunate. Unfortunately, the audience tends to listen to these people a lot because they're the ones who really do talk. And we, Ugandans, we've moved away from the practical things. We just feeding, how I wish these guys were preachers, you know?
Yeah.
So that I could believe them because they are basing on certain biblical principles. Yes. There are people who choose to get on the road and find maybe the border guys and tell them, you see, omanyi enti ejuda abantu ba east oba west. Now, because you found people, they are relaxing, and there's nobody else who has really come up to tell them something different. But before you know it, the entire border section believes that ANT is full of people of Western people. Or ANT is another section of NRM that is really trying to come up.
Camouflaging in the opposition.
Let me tell you that even as we experienced it, personally experienced it within the community down, you would find people saying, Naimwe, for you have no problem. You know? For you have no problem. So, but you know what that means? When he goes on the other side and says, by the way, ANT has no problem. Or your wife, by the way, or your wife. And then you go there and you're speaking, naye tukumanya oli wagundi lwakuba balina kye baakuwaayo. So by the time you get into the community, they know you're there. There's an agreement somewhere behind. You're there to waste their time, and you will move on. This is a very, very unfortunate thing within this nation. First of all, it is not true. Number two, I don't believe in it. But number three, every Ugandan, please don't listen to one side of the coin. Omuntu bwakugamba ekintu mubuuze eyo mboozi wagijeewa.
Bwina aliwa.
Evidence eri wagitulage.
Lwaki omuntu akugamba amawulire ag'omu ANT nga si member wa ANT? Why should I tell you about NUP when I'm not a member of NUP? Why should I tell you about information in Ajijewa? Why should I tell you about NRM when I'm not a member of NRM or FDC? Why? It means by the time I think of coming to tell you about that party, there's something I want you to change within your mind. Now, if you know for sure that you love this nation, don't listen to one side of the coin. Bompuliriza nekugamba this is what is happening on the other side. Why am I interested in somebody's home when mine is really burning? There's a big problem there, Edgar. But now Uganda, I hear the word twebereremu. I thought twebereremu means be in it and experience it. You know? Chifiringe. So if somebody is telling you about a certain section of people and doesn't belong to it, put him to respond. Wabitegeddotya tuwebwino nga bw'oyogedde tuwebwino emala. Because the information I have, which is not even enough, but at least I know the information I have is about ANT. As of now, if I speak about NUP, I'll be telling a lie. And I'll be very, very unfair. If I speak about any other party, I'll be very, very unfair. My responsibility is to get out and tell the people, this is what I stand for, and this is what I believe is going to help me and you. Please join me.
Because of this and this reason.
Because of this and this reason. And there's no doubt, even when we go into statistics, if you really want to, you're still going to find that at some point, either ANT has got many people from the east, at another point ANT has got many people from the north, at another point ANT has got many people from the west. If you're thinking about balance, you're not going to balance in terms of necessarily numbers. Numbers varying should not be the main issue. The question is service delivery being evenly distributed?
Yes.
Okay. Kale, I want to read some of the messages here. I will start on a light note. This one said, your family soft. Let me start from, let me see, Nabukera Teddy. I can never forget November last year, and we bless the Lord, this November has not had that craziness. Then Mutale Farouk Hussein says, the problem with Ugandans is to think that every achievement is attached to who funds you. Museveni has really made the generation think less. That's why I told Farida that we study aimlessly and hopelessly. Do you believe in this? Because, okay, now the narrative that is here is that we hate NUP. That is the narrative, that we are really anti-NUP, we don't believe in what they are saying. And I think Mutale is coming to the rescue, saying that the problem with Ugandans is to think that every achievement is attached to who funds you. Museveni has really made the generation think less. That's why I told Farida we study aimlessly and hopelessly. Do you believe in Mutale?
Well, that is his view, and is entitled his view.
Yes.
But I think one thing Ugandans need to look at here is how has been our education system and where is it heading us? For me, on a general basis. Because at the end of the day, if I wake up in the morning and my brother at home is a supporter of another party, doesn't stop him from being my biological brother. That is his view, that's the way of thinking. But let's go back to the education element. The truth is that to a certain level, we don't see the value of being in school. Many people have graduated, and most of those who have graduated, they are in the Middle East, being mistreated, dehumanized. You know, that is really, really not fair.
Yes.
Number two, when it comes to idea of who is supporting you, the thing is, if you can't control your appetite, then they'll feed you. They'll feed you directly. Yes.
Okukyaza pastor nga muli mu family ne bwabasanga mumaze okusaba ne mwefuula abatamulabye ate ne mutasaba ng'ate pastor wali ate simuwaya kisa nayogere n'abasabya ya dakika 2 tetusobola obutwogera ku religion nga tulina n'omuntu akkiriza mu ddiini twagala otubuulire role ki religious institutions ezirina okuplayinga mu politics y'eggwanga.
Yeah, because that is also one of the questions.
Very good question. A very good question, and I'm glad it has come out. Number one, let me speak to those that, if you really believe in the Bible, that means you are a Christ follower.
Yeah.
And therefore, byokola bigoberera Christ-likeness.
Yes.
That means follow the Bible. By the way, the Bible is a very practical book. And if you look at it, it's all about one thing, love. God and your neighbor. And these things, we learn them within, of course, the religious places, or the churches in this particular case. What do the churches need to do, or what do religious people need to do? First of all, bulira enjiri ngeri based on the Bible.
Yes.
Ekyokubiri, condone anything that comes out that is not in the principle of what you believe in. The biggest problem has been, and especially in this nation, some religious people, some church leaders have also strategized themselves to feed on what comes from there. And the Bible puts it very clear. I think it is Ephesians 1:23, that the church is not peripheral to the world. The world is peripheral to the church. In other words, the church is at the center of the world. So it's supposed to be influencing the world, not the other way around. The unfortunate bit is that some religious leaders have agreed that they get pressed on, they get to be influenced by the externals. So they are not in position to candidly speak in the eyes of these politicians to say, that isn't right. Or to say, this is what we want. The church does not have a stand or a position on some bills. And now we are here talking about comprehensive sex education, LGBT.
Community.
All these things should not necessarily be, by the time the politician gets to the floor, if the church was really very serious, it should have borrowed or picked what is the church standing for. And then because in any case, these very politicians are Christians, I should say.
But we have seen religious leaders get brown envelopes.
Exactly. So the thing is, if the church doesn't come out and take its position, then the wrong people are going to do that. And you can only end speaking, but speaking is not going to really help. If I come to you and you're my shepherd, you're my pastor, and you don't tell me, but Sylvin, there's a problem here. Let's analyze it properly on the basis of what we believe in. And you quote me with the Bible.
Yes.
I will keep thinking, bwengenda wali ne bampa brown envelope, njagamba munange, bampaddeyo kano katugabane. The next thing, you're also compromised. No wonder, that's why you see, sometimes in the campaigns, you go to the church, and at that point, you are more important than the Christ they believe in, than the God they have gone to worship. And you think, what's the problem here? They want you to speak fast. But people have not come from their homes to come and worship you. People have come to listen to the word of God. So if you replace the word of God with the different people on the basis of what they give you, then you're misdirecting the nation. And by the way, church leaders should not think that politicians are not good. They have a contribution to their not being good. Because they belong, every Christian belongs to a church. Every Christian is under a certain authority as far as church leadership is concerned. They should be speaking into the lives of those people.
Yeah.
What we go with out in the community, it should be based on what we believe in and whom we feed from. Is the priest, is the pastor, is the reverend. And secondly, to all Ugandans, the Bible is not meant to be read by one person. And the interpretation...
We should all read the Bible.
Yes, we should all read the Bible. Everything we are fighting for is very, very clear on how we need to go about it. And that's why I'm saying Christians are very, very responsible as far as the direction of the governance and politics of this nation is concerned, because Christians are said to be, or are supposed to be, the light and the salt of the world. If they choose to do the right thing, where there is light, darkness disappears. Okay. Where the Christian steps and does the right thing, you will not find darkness.
Okay. We still have Mr. Gumusiriza in studios. You are still watching the Mighty Drive Show. My name is Karuhanga Edgar Mathew. I am with Farida Bikobere and, of course, Mr. Sylivin Gumusiriza. Sylivin is a political activist from the Alliance for National Transformation, and, of course, he is a person who believes in Christ. Now, at 36 minutes past 8 a.m., we are remaining with not more than 15 minutes. Let me first read this question. This one says, how has the church contributed to our governance?
Certainly.
Is it still contributing to our governance?
It is. Unfortunately, it is contributing to our governance on a large scale in a negative sense. Not fairly, not really. That's why I was talking about a few minutes ago, that some of the church leaders have strategically positioned themselves to receive the brown envelopes. And you know, whoever feeds you, by the way, controls you. Abaganda mugamba nti tosobola kwogera ng'oyina ky'olya. Yes. And
he who pays the piper determines the tune.
Determines the tunes. So there's no other way. There's no other way. Control your appetite. Church leaders, let me tell you, church leaders, whoever is involved, yes, whoever is involved in this one, think about it. By the time you allow somebody to come to speak to your people because yakuwadde emitwalo 5, ate omulala n'omugamba togenda kujja, kiba kitegeeza kiki kyolaga abo, those who are under your authority, oba bagamba bannange buli ayina gw'oba okkiriza, atayina agende. Ate okimanyi that for most of us, a big section of us, we certainly believe in our leaders, in our church leaders. Ekiseera ekisinga by'oyogedde byengenda nabyo naddala nnyo mu kyalo, munange pastor ayogedde, reverend ayogedde, gundi yajja. Let me give you a scenario. I got this particular church, and gladly the person who was speaking to me after that was my relative. But if he had been another person, probably I would have hated him the more. But the thing is, najja nangamba, now before you just came and fed us on Enjiri, by the way, oyogedde bulungi, naye gundi yajja by the way n'atuwa bags za cement 2, ate tuli mu kuzimba, katolooza munange tunaakuwa akalulu. And he was really honest with me. But the question I had for him was this: your mother has been attending this church 5 years and more before.
Yes.
I mean, religiously coming to this church, ng'ateekako 12 mukabu every Sunday.
Yes, hello.
We have a phone call. Hello, welcome to the drive.
Yeah, good morning. My name is Norman here. Farida Sylivin. That name is so English. I don't know whether it's another pronunciation in my tribe. So a quick one, Mr. Sylvin, that I would want him to substantiate about. I mean, this Bible is also treated just like a constitution. One article allows you to do this, the sub-article contradicts together. Because you see, even all these preachers, they tell us, now we wonder, why a person is going to agenda kubanja atya Museveni oba agenda kubanja atya okukola n'amaanyi wano okubanja akawutabete naye bamugamba eggulu liri mu ggulu so wano esobola okuyitawo buyisi. Those things are just I don't know how they should be interpreted and translated to a local consumer. Nkyogenda mugamba kukolerera bya mu ggulu ate pastor avuga mmotoka milioni 600 naye agamba kukolerera bya mu ggulu. I mean, it's just funny. But also now coming back to Uganda here, it's unfortunate that none of you there is a Muganda like me, a Muganda Wilwengo. It is there always in Engero, Omukuta Sobia, so everyone you want to make noise like Mana Wangereka, Omukuta Kolashi. These things of all, it's Mangeri Sodium Kudu, the Edina, Kativini, Kativana Bazay, Vivana Katifa Katula. Then you, what you say about Mana Wangi, Smanga Yamato, no Kayani Munkwawa. So even when you want to make noise for your rights, you're like, I have one right. So, I mean, there are lots of things that need to be changed, either in the regions and also in our traditions and culture. There is a lot. So I think Mr. Sylvin should guide us on the difference of Korea Muguru, no Korea one. So we know.
Okay. Thank you, Norman. Norman, I'm with the child get the condos. Bible here contradicting.
There's something. What's the main question at that point?
The question is, he's saying the Bible tells them to do things, but it's contradicting itself at the end of the day. It's like the Constitution. That's what he likened it to. That ejja kugamba ate kola kino naye ate kulete ati kendale contradicting kyenyini kye kugamba okola. Kati naye ne yeebuuza munna Uganda akoze atya.
First of all, if he believes in the Bible, he is one command that Jesus gives his people. Love God and love your neighbor as you love yourself. Yes. It's very clear. So how do you love your neighbor? Do the right things. Yeah. I mean, live in a good relationship with him. Yeah. Right?
Yes, sir.
Which means, if you're, let's talk about food. If you've served food, you don't have to take the big share and leave him with a little. A
small one.
If you're talking about family, you don't get a big share for your family and then ignore the other family. In other words, treat every other person as you'd wish to be treated. Again, the same Bible says, the way you treat people is a demonstration of the demonstration that you're my follower. So the Bible does not contradict. The Bible only indicates that life is here on earth. And while you're doing what God expects you to be on earth, you're basically working for heaven. Yeah. It's not that there are instructions coming from heaven that you're working and then you get scores so the heaven is... No. How do you relate with people? How have you handled yourself? How have you handled, if you have money, how are you handling the money? If you have a neighbor, how are you treating your neighbor? How have you, are you cheating? Are you bribing? He says, do not steal. By the way, sometimes we do things because the Bible says no.
Not to do that.
Let me give you a case here. The reason the Bible says do not steal, it is not because God doesn't want you to steal necessarily. It is because if you steal, it hurts the person
you have stolen from.
Who is God's creation. So basically, you are destroying or you are affecting a life that God is responsible for.
Yeah.
Yes. If you kill, it's not that the Bible says do not kill because God doesn't want you to kill. When you kill, you hurt the person that is related to the person that you've killed.
Yes.
You've denied somebody a life. So live life here and God is watching that you're doing the right thing. So it's not contradicting itself.
Let me go through more messages here because we're coming to the end of the show. Uganda is a country, this is Mutale Farouk. Uganda is a country where we study but with no purpose or aim. Kushaba Arthur Kennedy. Good to see you, my former teacher Sylvin and comrade in Ant. And thank you so much, Norman, for such an innovation. Thank you so much. Then Alex is saying, politics in itself isn't dirty, but some actions and deeds of people who join the same scene to make it look like it is dirty. Thank you so much. Then Nyakato Rusoke, she says, thank you, comrade Sylivin Gumusiriza. I like the way you articulate issues. Keep it up. Then Mr. Tuyahab is saying, doing this politics is going in for a long haul. I think principled people are there, but they bend to the common structures of society and end up making politics dirty. Exactly what you said. Then Janet Kennedy is here advocating free all political prisoners, free Segirinya Mohammed for further medication. Thank you so much. We also listen to you. Council Odur Anthony, thank you so much. Your family is soft, yes. Let me say, Peter, Robert, there is this one called Robert P. Jinyakol. Thanks. It is all good to collaborate, but they need to come to that with clean hands and not with hidden agendas. I think he's talking about the unity.
Exactly, yes.
Forging unity.
Yeah.
Yes, and let me see more messages here. I can never forget. Let me see. Anita, I doubt we are, but maybe you are, don't you think? A lot of what's going on here and there. Thank you so much. I think let's stop on those messages. Various messages, but
there's something which Norman talked about in Omukulu Tasovya. This is where we're going to
which is very, very right.
I think we are making big mistakes here to think that Omukulu Tasovya, traditionally we've been raised in a sense that the elder is an elder.
Yes.
Which is fine, but we have quite now a number of many dysfunctional families or many challenged families.
Yes, sir.
Because people are trying to raise children the way they were raised and times have
changed. Thank you.
And that is going to be a very big clash. So I think it's a moment where n'abakulu bayina okukakana ne bagamba wait ekiseera kiri si kyekino emyaka gikyuse. If you were raising a kid at 6 years, you're slapping him you're slapping anyhow. And the head is the most delicate part of the body.
I had a parent who would say, you see, you don't have to drink sugar because they drink sugar.
Yeah, so it makes the kid think. It makes the kid think. So you created me to treat me like you were treated. You didn't take sugar because it was not there.
Yes.
But it is there. So why should I not take it now? So I think
because I didn't take it.
You didn't take it
because I want you to learn how to.
But this is some parents
are really,
unlogical.
I think parents need to calm down and say, wait. Those were the days. These are the days. There were things then. There are things now. What was there
cannot apply here.
Cannot apply here. What we missed there. Let's look at why we missed it. It was not available.
Yes.
Is it available now? Yes. Is it a necessity?
Yes.
Then provide it. Because this is a child you say you love. Then show him love. Number 2, allow your child, okugamba nti omukulu tasovya. It's like you're saying, you're basically denying this young boy to be creative and innovative.
Your opinions, ideas don't matter at all.
Yes, your opinions were of the 80s and 90s. This young man is in 2020. He's seeing when he goes on social media, he can make business.
Yes.
And for you are telling him, Fetwali manga rumonde. No, it just doesn't work.
I'm telling you, nakwata esimu ngama ze senior 6 gwe kikwagaza esimu ngoli mu P6 chechaje.
Did tell you those days in the village, you know. So I think parents need to come to the point, and well, but also the young people. Maybe the challenge we have here is the element of patience.
Yes.
Sometimes we want...
And of entitlement.
Of entitlement. We also don't want to understand where is my dad coming from? Where's what makes him say that? So we are not patient to have this conversation and debate and negotiation. And say, you see, mommy, if I have this phone, it's going to be a lot easier for me to connect with that person and we meet at this place and I come over. You know? But those who have picked it up, by the way, you find everything to do, as for example now, everything to do with electronics. He says, talk to my daughter. Money. Loading money, but again, that is because the child is a decent child, is a disciplined one. Because if he's a thief, and you give him money to load for mobile money.
Pato yugi, omuntu wawansa gamba ignoring messages of criticism and only reading those messages which are praising you is unprofessional. I want to tell you a few things. You are claiming you know how this channel started. How does that contribute to the discussion that we're having now? I will ignore that message because it doesn't contribute to the discussion that we're having. You are claiming we are tarnishing Chagulani's name by hosting their deputy spokesperson. Was him brought here to tarnish his Bamita father? His name? No. If your messages are not related to the discussion that we are having, we do not read them. It is not in bad faith.
And Pato, the thing is this. We are journalists, and that is what makes us journalists. What makes us journalists is that we speak the truth. One time I had the deputy president for your party, Dr. Lina Zedrigon, sit here, and she was accusing me personally of being someone who believes in NRM who has been bought. She even reached an extent of saying, because you are Karuhanga, you're coming from that region. She started even stereotyping me. And then it is the same people like yourself who come out and say that I'm also NRM. And then NRM also says I'm NUP. So that means I am actually doing my job right. So Mutale, sorry, not Mutale, he's called Pato.
Pato, yeah.
Pato, I'm sorry if we may come out like we are, ridiculing your leader. But the thing is, if there's something that is going wrong, or if there's a topical discussion that concerns Mr. Kyagulanyi, we shall speak the truth and we shall put him to book and we shall actually ask him the right questions. And if you're doing something wrong, we shall not stop by just playing around and not speaking the truth. We shall speak the truth, and that's how we talked about Mr. Museveni. When Besija brings up something that is wrong, we shall talk about him. And if Kyagulanyi also brings out something wrong, we shall actually also talk about him, because we are the fourth estate. We check your leaders for you. We are doing this for you. So, Pato, and I don't think I can read out such messages.
Yes, sorry,
because you're not on the topic. You're actually talking about
He's
other
off
things.
topic, yes.
You're being sensational, but of course, thank you so much, Mr. Gumusiriza, for coming to the show. I think you can just give us your parting shots.
My parting shot is this. My biggest appeal is that, and especially to Christians, don't hide your head under the sand. Because at the end of the day, you can say you're the Bible reader, you pray and you shanda, all those things, but at the end of the day, you live with people in this nation. Everything that is happening in terms of politics and governance is going to affect you and everyone else. Whether when you're going to church, you pass by the road. That road needs to be clean. Yeah. When you're going home in the evening, you need lights on the road. The schools that your children go to, they're under the government. The hospitals are under the government. Every other service got all these offices, public services are under the government. So if the government is not doing the right thing, and you as a Christian, you know the right thing to be done, to keep quiet is actually to not do what you expected of as a Christian. And therefore I call upon you to stand you don't have to necessarily be in the open all the time, but begin from where you are. And I'll begin with this. When I was coming today, I called for a safe border. This guy comes and he reaches and says, how much money is that? I told him it's 10,000. He says, kakati tukole bwetuti. Kanzijeko apu esente ozinsasule tebansalako sente. Now, if you're Christian, and I actually said no, I'd rather get another person. He said, okay, kali tugende. If you're Christian and you think that is not a game played, to deny somebody who created an app to facilitate us for transport, and you think you're doing it for this other person, it's a big, big problem. So let's not look at small things that we do and we think we are not supposed to be conscious. We should always be conscious of the things we do, and the small things accumulate to be of importance. Let's keep doing the right thing. The government is our responsibility.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gumusiriza. By the way, I would love to agree with that border gentleman because these applications actually help the consumer, not the driver. I've been an app driver before. I know what they go through. Ladies and gentlemen, we're having a promotion this December, starting from the 1st. For every 100 shares you make, you are going to be receiving 5,000 Uganda shillings. So, ladies and gentlemen, feel free. Go sharing ano kakasancho wezizo shares chikumi. Nga zituse walingo sharing the video, sharing the interview, alternative TikTok, or sharing the show. Enkumi tano zo osobola ku inboxing ano bagamba wali ku Facebook no tugamba mpezeza shares zange wezi chikumi. Munsindikire sente zange. Ate gwa wezi ye chikumi yennyini gwoba ogenda kufuna mutwalo mulamba. So bannange mwetanire December eno, every day we shall be giving out that money for everybody who shares, and this is for you, our people who watch our show. So mumekinga sure bannange musharinga videos wewangulireze 15 7 naku zino kya misana neche gula ekyo omuntu. So guys, thank you so much Gumusiriza, Farida Bikobere, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much Pato and everybody who has been watching. It's been a pleasure, and we're going to meet tomorrow, same time, same station. And of course, don't forget to follow us. That is on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, everything it is at The Alternative Uganda. You can follow me personally at Edgar Mathew Karuhanga on Facebook, at Edgar M. Karuhanga on Twitter. I'm not on Instagram yet, and I'll be on TikTok soon. So, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Karuhanga. Good morning.
Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.